Hello, how is everyone doing? Today, we will be going over Brahmacharya, the foundation of spiritual life. So without further ado, let us begin. Brahmacharya is a sine qua non of spiritual life. It is a great desideratum. It is of vital importance. Without perfect Brahmacharya, you cannot have substantial spiritual progress. So I've had videos previously where people would ask, I made a video, it was titled Spinning and Closing Chakras. And someone asked, how can I spin chakras? Or is it possible that I'm doing them wrong? Now, the best way to answer that sort of question is to understand your body. The chakra systems can remain dormant if there's blockages, clogs, or something stopping it from reaching all the way to the crown. There could be things that are not allowing it to rotate, whether this is repressed energy, any sorts of energies that are repressed, or things that you put behind and you're not necessarily picking up, because the shadow definitely wants to be known through the body. The shadow is our dark qualities. These are energy fractals, all right? The shadow is not anything more than a creation of our own self. So to truly understand the shadow, perfect Brahmacharya will allow you to learn the shadow and how to mesh the shadow with yourself. Abstinence or continence is the cornerstone on which the pedestal of moksha stands. If the cornerstone is not very strong, the superstructure will fall down when there is heavy rain. Even so, if you are not established in Brahmacharya, if your mind is agitated by evil thoughts, you will fall down. You cannot reach the summit of the ladder of yoga or the highest nirvi kalpa samahadi without strong Brahmacharya. So what does Brahmacharya do in this essence? It's like a foundation, a strong foundation for a house to lay on. Without a strong foundation, anything that's happening around, external stimuli, will cause the house to come down. Therefore, Brahmacharya is the foundation, right? When you see lustful things, nothing would happen. You see erotic things around you. You see people dressing in degenerate ways, or you see people doing perverse acts, etc. Nothing will happen in your center because you're centered and you're focused, and evil thoughts cannot enter your inner matrix because of your strength in Brahmacharya. When you control Brahmacharya, you control three vital things: the prana, the virya, and the mind. Okay, this is the three things we control: the breath, the mind, and the sperm. Okay, the virya. These three things are always going to be in control. So you cannot be controlled by external things, external thoughts, external creations, external manifestations, external words. Nothing from the external can necessarily enter or attach themselves onto your energy bracket. When you're on Brahmacharya, your auric field is very, very clean. Your auric field is very, very pure. There is no hope for you to have self-realization or knowledge of the self if you are not well established in Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is the master key to open the realms of eternal bliss. Brahmacharya is the very foundation of yoga. So yoga, the moves, the mudras, the mantras, these are all yoga, yes. But the very, very foundation of what many of the yogis, monks do is Brahmacharya. This practice is what elevates the other practices of sitting still, of breathing through the left and right nostrils, of doing hand mudras while meditating, while saying mantras while meditating. These are like adding the spice to the beef. The Brahmacharya is essentially the meat. Everything else is considered a spice in the yoga, adding in your mudras, sitting for long periods of time, stretching the body, full lotus position, stretching the body out in different ways so that air can be moving and energy cannot be dormant in certain areas. These are all considered the spice to yoga, but not the full entirety of it. Just as a house that is built on a rotten foundation will surely fall down, so also you will fall down from your meditation if you have laid no proper foundation, namely the attainment of perfect Brahmacharya. You may meditate for a period of 12 years, and yet you will have no success in samadhi if you have not destroyed the subtle lust or the craving seed that lingers in the innermost recesses of your heart. So you could be a monk, you can go practice this practice of Brahmacharya for many years, but if you do not destroy the evil thoughts within your head, or the evil lustful thoughts within your head, you will not be successful. It will keep manifesting in different ways. Brahmacharya is the basis for the attainment of kaya siddhi. Complete celibacy must be observed. This is of paramount importance. By the practice of yoga, the semen becomes transmuted into ojas shakti. The yogi will have a perfect body. There will be charm and grace in his movements. He can live as long as he likes. This is also known as ika mrityo, or death at will. So like we explained, a reason why many of these yogis, monks, men that practice semen retention live very long lives, 100+ years, is because of this control of this vital life essence. The practice of Brahmacharya is the most important qualification for the spiritual aspirant, no matter what his chosen path may be: karma yoga, upasana, raja yoga, hatha yoga, or Vedanta. The discipline of complete abstinence is demanded from all aspirants. A true brahmachari only can cultivate bhakti. A true brahmachari only can practice yoga. A true brahmachari only can acquire jnana. Without brahmacharya, no spiritual progress is possible. So like I mentioned in the previous video, guys, right before this one, I get into depth on how whether you talk to any daemon, spirit, any fractal energy outside of yourself, which you don't need to consider anything outside of yourself, everything is considered a complete oneness. So the energies, we'll just call them fractal energies. It could be anyone, any entity, any energy, right? They will not get into contact with you unless you contain that sexual energy, right? They will treat you like a pest, or like a pest, or like a leech that is in the cosmos. They won't recognize you for your true potential, right? They won't, especially if you read grimoires or you see these grimoires, they will specifically tell you 7 to 14 days minimum of no sexual activity to ensure that your energy levels are potent, right? It's not about just the energy level in the physical plane. It has a lot to do about the auric field. It has a lot to do about the energy in the planes above. Lust deals a deadly blow to the spiritual caliber of man. It is not possible for you to enter the spiritual path that leads to union with God unless and until you control lust and become established in Brahmacharya. As long as lust smells sweet in your nostrils, you cannot entertain sublime divine thoughts in your mind. That man in whom the sex idea is deep-rooted can never dream of understanding Vedanta and realizing Brahman, even within Sata, Koti, Janma, even within 100 crores of births. Trust cannot dwell where passion lives. Sexual indulgence is a great obstacle in the spiritual path. It bars spiritual practices definitely. The sexual urge must be controlled by entertaining sublime thoughts and regular meditation. There must be complete sublimation of the sexual energy. then only the aspirant is absolutely safe. The total annihilation of the sexual desire is the ultimate spiritual ideal. Sex attraction, sexual thoughts, and sexual urge are the three great obstacles in the path of God realization or God conscious. Even if the sexual urge vanishes, the sex attraction remains for a long time and troubles the aspirants. Sex attraction is very powerful. Sex attraction binds one to this world. Each cell in the body of a male or female is surcharged with the sex element. The mind and the senses are filled with the sex juice. Now, guys, the reason this is to be is because the body has evolved through many periods of... We are evolved compared to an animal or as a plant. We are the trifecta of the three. We are the amalgamation of a plant, animal, and human, right? So if you guys need some more in depth on how the triune brain works, feel free to check that video out on this channel as well. But just shortly, the triune brain, the supercomputer that all humans have, is called the neocortex. The reason why the neocortex isn't as used as the other two brains is because the other two brains are overpowered. For example, the limbic system and the reptilian brain are instantly overpowered by emotions, ego, and by the sexual drive. So instantly we know most people are not going to be operating off their neocortex, rationalizing things out. They would allow their animalistic desires to take over and then submerge what ends up happening. The reptilian brain is known as the smallest part of the brain. It's practically just like an egg with a tail. That's how small it really is. But it's still the most overpowering because it's the most animalistic in our nature. Therefore, within the triune brain, we see how people are very fixated on the 4Fs of feasting, fucking, or fight or flight, because that triune brain, specifically the reptilian, is way more overpowering than our outer shell of the neocortex. Man cannot remain without looking at a woman, without talking to her. He derives pleasure in the company of a woman. Woman also cannot remain without looking at a man, without talking to him. She derives pleasure in the company of a man. That is the reason why he or she finds it extremely difficult to annihilate the sex attraction. Sex attraction cannot be destroyed without the grace of the Lord. No human effort can eradicate in total this mighty force of sex attraction. So ultimately it comes down to, what is your true rationale? Who are you doing this for? What is your attainment? What are you trying to get out of this, right? Because if you don't want something in this world, you want something that's not in this world. Something that means more to you. Something you can't grasp in the physical plane, but something that can be grasped in a plane of more importance. The organ of sight does great mischief. Destroy the lustful look, the adultery of the eye. Try to see God in all faces. Again and again generate the currents of dispassion, discrimination, and inquiry. Eventually, you will be established in Brahman, or the eternal. Again and again, generate sublime thoughts and increase your japa and meditation. The sexual thought will be eventually be annihilated. Of what avail is knowledge of the arts and sciences? Of what avail is reputation, or titles? Of what avail is repetition of the Lord's name, or meditation or inquiry of who am I, if you become a slave of your lust? Control this strong urge first by the rigorous penance of self-control. Before you take to advanced meditation, first become at least strict physical celibate, then endeavor to have perfection and mental chastity. So for the aspirants just starting out, it starts off with controlling the physical first, okay? Learn how to control your physical body. Once you learn how to control the physical body, you do this for about 7 to 14 days, you're able to move forward, okay? You know how to control physical desires. But the longer you go, the more it won't be a physical battle, more a mental battle. The urges of your mental will come in. Your desires will come in. Your reptilian brain will try to overpower your neocortex. You have to be able to differentiate between right or wrong. That's the ability that allows us to differentiate between man and human. In the Hebrew language, specifically, what it says about man and animal, the difference between man and animal is the fact that we're able to have prayer. The fact that we're able to have prayer is what differentiates man and animal. Now, you don't have to believe in any Hebrew gods. You don't have to believe in Jehovah. You don't have to believe in any gods. But prayer is substantial. Okay, prayer is how you connect with the higher source, the oneness, the creator. Okay, so whoever you believe the creator to be, so mote it be. But it's essential to understand we, as humans, have the ability to pray to the creator, to understand right from wrong, to understand things different from animalistic tendencies. Amongst you all, there may be a hidden Shakespeare, or a Kalidasa, a hidden Wordsworth, or a Valmiki, a potential saint, a Saint Xavier, an Akananda Brahmachari like Bhisma, Pitamaha, a Hanuman, or a Lakshman, a Visvamitra, or a Vivashishta, a great scientist like Dr. J.C. Bose, or Raman, a yogi like Jana Deva, or Goraknath, a philosopher like Sankara, or Ramanuja, a bhakta like Tulsidas, Ramdas, or Eknath. So what this slide is to show you is that amongst a plethora of men, there are hidden potential amongst you all. You never know your true potential until you enter Brahmacharya. All right, a lot of guys, they're losing their life force at a young age. So they never know the true potential and their true drive in this cosmos. Truly, to know your cause and to know your purpose in this cosmos, no other way to fire that right up other than Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya semen retention will allow you to grow in ways you never thought you could. Spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, dealing with your shadow, dealing with trauma. All these things have to be dealt with, okay? For this is your goal. This is why we were given a great memory by the Creator. It's to know and differentiate between right or wrong. It's truly understanding the ethic and moral compass that truly involves duality in which we live in. Awaken then your hidden faculties, potential energies of all description through Brahmacharya and attain God consciousness quickly and get over the miseries of this mundane life with its concomitant evils of birth, death, and sorrow. To escape duality, Brahmacharya is the only step to attain this God-level consciousness. It is said, Shiva, Jesus, many of the known prophets, many of the known deities, right? They were known to never have spilled their seed. Krishna, Jesus, Shiva, they've never spilled their seed. And when you say this, you understand that they became like God. They were God in essence. Blessed is the Brahmachari who has taken the vow of celibacy till the end of life. Twice blessed is the Brahmachari who is sincerely struggling to destroy lust and attain perfect purity. Thrice blessed is the Brahmachari who has completely rooted out lust and attained self-realization. Glory be to the such exalted Brahmacharians. There are veritable gods on earth. May their blessings be upon you all. So guys, this has been Brahmacharya, the foundation of spiritual life. Feel free to like the video.